Hey guys, happy Friday. I want you to know I have so enjoyed these last few Fridays with you. I would say probably my number one passion is teaching, but my number two passion is rescuing and restoring furniture. So we've got to be able to learn how to do the finishes, but we also need to know what kind of pieces to get. What finishes will look right on what pieces. So I've come to my favorite haunt here in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's called the Antique Warehouse Mall on Summer Avenue. We're outside and it's cold, but I thought it would be a lot more fun to show you pieces outside in the state that they're in, what my thought process is when I go through it, what am I looking for in a piece, and then talk to you about some of the strategies that I use in buying them. I love the fact that we're out here too, so I can talk to you right now, because when we go inside, the people that are the owners of the mall hear me telling you about my strategies on the right price and what to look for, and I don't want them to know it. But I do want you to know that when you're in Memphis, this is a great place to come. Dress unpretentious, wear your baseball cap, maybe have your sunglasses on, because it's part of the thrill of the hunt. That's the part that I love the most. I think a lot of you that know me know that Gene and I love coming here on Saturday morning with a cappuccino in hand. I wish I had a cappuccino right now because it's cold. But so I want to take you around and show you some of the pieces. So we're live. It's Friday at 12 Central Standard Time. So if you've got some questions, ask me and I will answer them for you while we're shopping. So let's look at this piece first. This is an adorable little oak chest. So you see that it's got 5 drawers in it. And a lot of you may say, well, how do I know that it's oak? Look at the graining on it. Oak is gonna have a really high, very noticeable grain. This piece would be beautiful stripped, but it could also look great painted if you wanted some color. One thing that I would definitely do on this is make sure that I clean it very well first. The mistake a lot of people think, if they clean it with maybe Windex or Simple Green, that they've cleaned it and it's ready to paint. That's not the case. A lot of times on pieces like this that were really used a lot in the 70s and maybe 80s, they put a product on it called liquid gold. Liquid gold is a very oily, greasy product that is going to act as a surfactant to where your paint will not bond and adhere as well. So make sure you use our clean slate on this. You're going to be shocked at all the stuff that's going to come off. So the other thing that I want to make sure, I would take the hardware off of this. This piece has a lot of potential, but I would take the hardware off, fill it in with some wood filler before I paint it, and then decide on my color. You know, the other thing that's really fun on these chests with 5 drawers is do an ombre effect. So you can choose one color, and each drawer, let's say, start out at the bottom as your darkest color and work your way up lighter, or dark here and go lighter that way. I just add a little bit of white to my paint each drawer and then move that direction. Makes it a lot of fun. There's no need in buying 6 colors, but just make it a little lighter for each drawer. That's a lot of fun. All right, so come around here. I want you to see. Now, this is really the way it looks. There's not anything we've propped out. We just got here a few minutes beforehand. So this is literally the thought process I go through when I'm shopping. Look at this piece. This is more mid-century modern. Look at these handles. They are awesome. Don't you love them? So as I look in the inside, I'm kind of checking out what it looks like. This has number 42 at $69. Now, here's a clue, guys. This place is no different than other places that you're going to go to across the country. Never, ever pay full price. You always have to ask for a discount. Usually I start at 10%. So make sure you ask for a discount. At least that saves you tax. Here in Memphis, tax is 10%. The other thing is, if this is something that you want to be able to do to make money, to buy and resell, there's a huge market for that. Then that way, get yourself a sales tax number with the state that you live in, and you'll automatically save the sales tax, but it'll put you in the category of being business. So that way you can start writing off your expenses. That's a whole other talk. But on this particular piece, make sure you clean it very well too with a clean slate, and I would lacquer this. Guys, if you're not familiar with the other paint products with Amy Howard at Home, it's because I want different finishes on different pieces of furniture. I would love to do lacquer on this piece. It needs a bright pop of color, a real intense, brilliant shine will transform this piece immediately. I would probably take off this part of the handle and make sure that I painted these, but this piece would be awesome in a real hot pink. Pink is such a big color right now. A dark gray, even black or white. All right, so come on, I got some more happies to show you. Come around here. So if it gets a little dark, I'm sorry, but I am like taking you through. Look at this piece. I love this. Can you come around and see the price on this? I want him to see. If I hold that up, can you see it? It's $22, guys. Now, can you see the feet on it? Let's come around this way. This is really, it's kind of an odd design. It's more mid-century modern. This piece, again, I would not use the one-step paint on it. Definitely lacquer. Lacquer, lacquer, lacquer. Pop of color is going to transform this piece. But let me show you something. Look at this on here. Do you see what's happened? This is veneer. So a lot of these pieces of furniture have veneer, really thin pieces of almost a paper thin type wood on top of them. But when they get wet, it's gonna buckle. What you need to do is go to your hardware store and get a syringe. You need to put some glue in it and put that needle of that syringe inside here and just shoot it with some glue. That glue is going to go underneath the veneer, and then clamp it and tape it down, and that way you're going to have it nice and smooth. Then you're ready to lacquer it. So make sure, again, you clean it really good with a clean slate. Lacquering is a totally different process. I'm going to be going over with you on a Finish Friday how to lacquer. It's totally different than the one-step paint, and it's a totally different finish that will amaze all of your friends and pieces that you want to be able to have in your home. Lacquer is still very hot and very much on trend. All right, so come on. So this, I'm looking at different pieces. A lot of what you're doing should be where you can use a piece. This odd little box, I would wax it. A lot of people think you have to use the wax on top of paint. You don't have to. This would be great. Clean it up with a clean slate and then just give a beautiful wax job to it. I would totally put this at my back door and fill it full of flowers depending on the season. If it was Halloween, I would put pumpkins in it and some ivy. If it was Christmas, I'd put poinsettias. Love things like this to be able to put it at the back door to put seasonal flowers in. A lot of fun. Even I like here on the front, look at this. I wouldn't get rid of any of this. I would just clean it and wax it. If you wanted to come in here and paint a little bit, you can use the one-step paint almost as a chalkboard. That could be adorable too. Now look at this, guys. Look at these two tables. Come on, come on. Look at these two tables. Are they not so fun? I've got to walk over here and see how much they are. They look to be like a birch material. They definitely need to be painted. There again, as we're just talking about pieces, to be quite honest with you, I would probably lacquer these. I think they would be great. They would look more mid-century modern. I'm going to walk around real quick while my cameraman looks at that. I want to see how much they cost. Are there any questions, by the way? Send me some love, guys. Let me know you like going shopping with me. Okay, so the booth number is number 42, and this just says coffee table. It's $59. This is a home run. Are they both? Yes, they're priced. Okay, guys, guess what? This one's $49. So I'm going to make sure that I offer 10% less. I'll get $4.90 off. I'm going to be going home with this coffee table for $45. Booyah. I'm going to clean it, and that way I'm going to be able to have a coffee table in my house that looks mid-century modern that I've lacquered, and all my friends are going to think I've paid $2,400 for this. Yes?
Question.
Yes.
How do you know whether to paint or to lacquer?
That's a great question. Who asked that question?
That was Kathy Fowler.
Hey, Kathy. that's going to depend on the finish that you want. So lacquer it comes in an aerosol can. It's a nitrocellulose lacquer that we have at Amy Howard at Home. It's a very high sheen, brilliant color. It's sprayed on. It's a totally different process than brushing on the one-step paint, which is more of a chalk-based matte finish. Brilliant lacquered colors, and that finish is great on things that have cleaner lines, that are more mid-century modern, something that's a little bit more, let's say, traditional or country or kind of a shabby chic is going to be more something that you would want to do in a one-step paint and a chalk-based paint. But things like this, you need gloss, you need a pop of color that's really brilliant. All right, a couple of more things before we go. Here's another piece that we looked at, like over there. This is oak again. These pieces a lot of times look fabulous, stripped and lined. I will even come on top of this with glazes. I'm going to be showing you in the next 8 weeks, I'm going to be going over a lot of processes that you can glaze this piece and it look totally different if you don't want to go through stripping it. Make sure you clean it really well first. The other thing is, I would normally take this hardware off. So after you clean it, take your hardware off and fill the holes with some wood fill, and then that way you want to be able to go in and paint it. This would be a great piece painted in like a light gray, a pale blue. It's darling. It totally transforms it. Are people looking at us?
People are wanting to get through, but it's
Okay, sorry. All right, so let's just walk through this way just a little bit. Of course, look at these lamps. You know, we talk about brass lamps. Brass is in, but guys, you can use the one-step paint on lamp bases. It's not just for furniture. You can paint metal. You can paint fabric. You can paint lampshades. You know, the thing is, one thing that you want to make sure you remember, and we say this in the South a whole lot, you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. You want to make sure that you love the piece, that it's utilitarian, and if you're painting to resell, make sure you stay with more neutral colors. I know a lot of people that paint for other people, and that's part of their it's part of their hustle. It's part of how they make their money. You can give them a choice on how they want to be able to paint that. Give them color options. All right, a couple more things. Come down this way. I want to show you. I saw something earlier. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing, I'm just smiling.
Is this fun?
It is fun.
Tell me that I know our crew, we're just like, we want Starbucks. So as soon as we're finished, we're going to Starbucks so we can warm up. Okay, so I want to show you something. This was something that I saw earlier. These clay pots, you know, believe it or not, guys, it's going to be spring before we know it. And the last 4 weeks, I went over with you how to use our Toscana milk paint. You can do some incredible finishes on clay pots that will look old, vintage, and fab with milk paint. I'm going to be showing you how to do that, but I want you to remember, when you see clay pots like this, and when you can get them for $1, or especially ones that have some age to them, maybe pitch pots, I'm going to show you. Grab them up. That's time to buy an antique, is when you see it, because it won't be around. So a couple of other things. Just remember, with the one-step paint, you can use it on metal. So I can very easily paint some of these bases. It's starting to rain here. Look at these adorable little chairs. Of course, anytime you see cute, adorable chairs like this, it's always fun to think about painting it all one color and then coming back in with this fretwork, maybe painting it a different color, adding some striping on it, and definitely I'm going to have to be able to recover that seat. So it's like really and truly. Yes, there's a question.
Question from Priscilla. She wants to know, how do you calculate resale value?
Priscilla, that's a great question. I'm going to tell you, I tried to make it to where you paid yourself $100 an hour when you worked on a piece. That's why you needed products that were going to be easy and fast to be able to work with. But sometimes it's always perceived value. You may get a table, like that cocktail table over there that we were able to get for $45. You could easily turn around and sell that piece for $450. And I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity. My camera crew's going, yeah, that's true. And When I was rescuing and restoring furniture, I would set it up in my living room and in my den and take pictures of it, and that's how people saw it. Style it. Don't just put it in front of a wall. You want to make sure that you can show them how beautiful it can be in their home. So while I may get that for $45, I may spend $100 on the lacquer, and I may spend about an hour and a half or 2 hours working on it. So that way, being able to turn around and sell it for $450 is great. It's perceived value. Don't sell it for too little. Your time is very valuable. And if that's what you do for a living, then you've got to be able to calculate how many of those pieces of furniture you've got to rescue and restore in 1 week. All right, so it's starting to drizzle and rain here. As you can tell, I love shopping and having you shop with me just as much as I do teaching. So tune in next week. We'll announce our drawing winner during the middle of the week. My e-commerce guy is on his honeymoon, and he's going to be getting that name for me, and I'll be coming on live to announce it, and we'll send it your way. Make sure that you don't have those problems. Have a great week, guys. Love you.